So, welcome everyone to Caboose Home Expert Session. So, I'm itching to just dive right in, but before I do that, I just want to talk a little bit about why we're doing this. One of our core values as a business at Caboose is helping people. It's a personal value of mine and Alison's. So, we go about a business every day trying to do that, but in a restaurant, it's quite difficult to demonstrate that value on a daily basis, other than providing great food for our customers and performing at a high level. We do a lot of things like charity work, community work. We help our customers. We overachieve and go above and beyond to try and help our customers create great experiences and a great time when they're here. But other than that, it's very difficult to demonstrate that value normally. But these are not normal times, as we know. So what we're doing at the moment is we're repurposing Caboose to try and serve that community at such a high level. And we're really, really driven and excited by that. Despite the challenges, it's a real privilege for us to be able to do that. And on top of that, what we want to try and do is go even further and bring in experts and try and talk about what the benefits of eating good, nutritious food at this time in particular are. And this is where Caboose Home Expert Sessions has been kind of born. And that's why we're doing this. And it's, I'm really excited to welcome the guests we've got today. This guy's an expert in his field, lives and breathes and I know this will be inflating your hair here, Paul. Lives and
Can't get any bigger. I'm surprised it fits on the screen.
Paul lives and breathes the message that he teaches, helps thousands of people really produce amazing results. And in December, quite rightly, he was voted the UK's #1 Master Coach of the Year for 2020. This guy's the real deal. Please welcome Paul Mort. Paul, just want to give a bit of an introduction based on what we're talking about so far.
Dude, I will. One thing I have no problem doing is talking about myself. So I'll keep it as short as I can. I'm going to start where I'm at right now. So right now, I am UK's Master Coach of the Year. I'm an author of 1.5 books. If you know me, you'll know why it's 1.5 books. I coach thousands of men, help thousands of men all over the world. And yeah, it's been a crazy ride for me because I ended up here because in 2014, after building several successful businesses, I had a meltdown and I was suicidal. My life since then has been a journey. I mean, we've done a bunch of crazy shit. We've achieved a lot personally, professionally, with all of the men that we work with all the women that we've worked with recently as well, with my book, with my family, with my relationships, etc., etc. It's been a complete transformation. I've ended up being lucky enough to be flown all over the world, to speak at events, to train at events, to serve people really. And I feel, I don't want to say, I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. I don't want to say lucky or privileged or anything like that, because listen, we get what we're committed to, right?
Yeah.
Get what we're ruthlessly committed to. So yeah, it's been quite a ride. I'm excited to be here today to share what I can.
I appreciate it, mate. And the reason I've got Paul involved is to talk about eating well, but also what are the wider benefits, how that influences our emotional state, our mental well-being, our ability to lead through this, lead our families, lead everyone around us, and just stay calm, basically, because it all interacts and it's all relevant. So I'll get straight in then. So I've got 3 questions. So given this unprecedented crisis, Paul, we find ourselves in, can you give us your thoughts on how eating well can help us all?
I can. Well, first up, if you put diesel in a petrol engine, it don't work.
Yeah.
It don't work, period. It breaks down. And right now, there is nothing more important than how you feel. Nothing more important than how you feel. Because here's the reality, right? We have a challenge. This is the challenge. Not the iPad, not the crack on the screen, but this is the challenge. And what we're seeing right now is some people are looking in a certain way and some people are looking at it in another way. So the challenge has happened and then there's a perception of the challenge.
Yeah.
Okay? There's the perception of the challenge. Perception means just how we are viewing it. Everybody is going through this. Okay? Everybody has the same challenge, the same events happening to everybody. The difference is how people are perceiving this challenge. Because after perception comes a decision. Yeah. After a decision comes an action. And that leads to the results that you're going to get through this period. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, the first thing, the reason I'm touching on this is because how you see the challenge decides what everything else happens.
Yeah.
And the thing is, so we see the challenge, we have the perception, we make a decision, we take an action. That action impacts everyone around you.
Yeah.
Now, the most simplest way to change that perception of how you view the challenge is by getting on top of your physical, mental, and emotional state. Simple as that. And food, i.e. fuel, will determine how you feel. And consider this, that one thing that we do in our programs is check where guys are at every day right now, where they're at on a scale of 1 to 10, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I'm saying to guys, listen, if you're anything below an 8, you're going to struggle. The impact on everyone around you is going to be completely different. How you handle this challenge is going to be completely different. The results that happen for you as a result of this challenge are going to be completely different if you're anything less than an 8. And one thing that impacts that hugely is the food you put in the mouth. In your mouth. Absolutely, mate.
It's amazing. I mean, a lot of people won't even realise that the tip of that iceberg, Paul. You know, it's such a deep subject. But you know,
I think a lot of people have forgotten what it's like to feel great.
Yeah. All right, great, perfect, mate. I appreciate that.
I'm gonna give you another little insight, actually, mate, because I think this will be really useful for you guys that are listening, for the guys that are listening and watching. Is that day to day, right? You could have one day you could be like a 7 or an 8 out of 10, right? Then the next day you maybe get a poor night's sleep. You don't feel great. You wake up at a 2, right? 2 or a 3 out of 10. This has happened to me recently. Now your life could be exactly the same. All the facts could be exactly the same, and you could lose your shit based on where you're at. Based on the number that you're at. So I remember November last year, I came back from Dubai and I was sick, right? I wasn't well. I must have picked someone up on the plane. And one day, I was actually sitting in here on the floor, having a little cry to myself. I just felt mega low, and I hadn't felt like that for a long time. Now, the only difference between my life, the facts of my life, was that my state was totally different. My state had gone from an 8 to a 2 or a 3. But my life was the same. That's how important getting a handle on where you're at physically, mentally, emotionally is. There's nothing more important than how you feel. And the fuel you put in your body, your consumption, is a huge part of that.
It's a massive deal, Paul. I mean, personally, I've worked with you and I've studied this subject for quite a while, and I'm quite aware of the importance of good food. But before that, what has let me down is the lack of structure and the draw of convenience food, frozen food, takeaways. And for me, that was just basically a lack of routine and habits. So if I didn't have a plan that included what I would eat, and you know, my habits would really suffer. So especially now when all structure and routine has disappeared along with the bog roll.
Absolutely.
You know,
that's why people are losing it. People are losing it because their structure and the routine's gone. They don't realise they're in control of that. You can get a routine like that.
What's your thoughts there on habits and planning and how that can help with eating and producing better results?
That's what's interesting, dude. Everyone knows that discipline's a big deal in your life. Any area of your life where you want to be successful requires some level of discipline. Whether that's financially, whether that's emotionally, whether that's in your relationships, you have to have some level of discipline. Whether that's your fitness, your health, your mindset, you need to have some level of discipline. And a lack of discipline makes your life harder than possible, harder than necessary, right? You make your life way harder than necessary with a lack of discipline. But here's the interesting part of this. You can't be disciplined without a plan. If there's no plan, no structure, what is there to be disciplined to?
Stick to,
It starts with a plan. It starts with structure. You can't be disciplined without a plan, period. And guess what? Everyone right now, I'm hearing a lot of the word overwhelm. Okay? Without a plan, without structure, you will always be overwhelmed. Because overwhelmed just means you're not clear on your priorities. You can't be clear on your priorities without a plan. Simple as that. It starts with structure.
So especially now, you know, there's a lot to be overwhelmed about, a lot to be stressed about.
Because people have had that structure, and a lot of people are given structure. And that's fine, by the way. That's why guys from the army, we hear this all the time, guys struggle coming back to civilian life. And I've worked with quite a few military guys, and they're given structure, and then it disappears. And they struggle with all the supposed freedom that they've got. They don't know what to do with themselves. So right now, no plan equals no discipline. No plan equals overwhelm. Lack of discipline makes your life harder than necessary.
It's massive. I mean,
listen, you can't eat shit and expect to feel great, period.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
You can't eat shit and expect to feel great. It's like going into the pig pen and then complaining that you're getting covered in shit. You can't go into the pig pen and not get covered in shit. My daughter says you can't go in the shower and not get wet. She's only 6. I think she's heard Tyson Fury say that, maybe. Hopefully that's all she's heard him say.
So during this, what we'd call a life-changing event, right?
Yeah.
People can often make big decisions. In fact, I think crisis is often the catalyst for change, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of decisions being made. So for a lot of people using a service like we offer right now and trying to do something to help themselves will be considered as change.
Yes.
The fault of mine when trying to make a decision or a change is I try to go from step one to step 100 in one go. Yeah. And
I know.
Yeah.
Not like I hadn't noticed it before.
And if someone was telling me to start eating well, it was the best thing to do right now to improve my immune system and fight this thing off. An old version of me would have ate a lettuce leaf and a spoonful of dust for 5 days and expected huge results.
Yes.
And then I'd get sick of it and went to the local Indian for a curry and landed right back where I started again. So can you talk about the focus on simple progress rather than perfection and whether that can yield better results in the longer term?
Here's where I'm uniquely qualified in here. If this had happened 5 years ago when I was on my knees, actually 6 years ago when I was on my knees, I'm an asthmatic, so I'm actually classed as high risk. I can't go to the shops or anything right now. My wife has to do all the shopping. She has to wash all of my clothes and everything because I am quite high risk. My asthma's
devastated.
And check this out. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I would have caught it. No shit, and I probably would have died. I was 5 stone overweight. I was a cokehead and boozing all the time. And my asthma was horrendous. Horrendous. Yeah. Honestly, if this had happened that long time ago, I don't know what would have happened to me. I also lived in Spain at the time, which was, they're struggling with it, I think. They're struggling with it.
Yeah, big time.
So listen, what do I know about progress and perfection? Well, that was the same. I'd try and take over the world in 3 days and then wonder why I hadn't lost any weight. So I'd deprive myself. Yeah. I'd deprive myself and then I wouldn't be able to stick to it and then I'd blow up. And I'd just keep repeating this cycle over and over again. Yeah. And it's a lot to do with the strategy. Like I say, a plan has to be sustainable. If it's not sustainable, you're going to get, listen, everyone knows about yo-yo dieting, man. Yeah. Right? Everyone knows about yo-yo dieting. Usually when I think of the word yo-yo dieting, I think of someone called Carol. Sorry to any Carols. Sorry to any Carols. I always think Carol from Slim and World, Karen from Weight Watchers. Yeah. Listen, I'm not digging those programs out at all. Not in the slightest. But that's the typical thing that you think of, you visualize when you think about yo-yo dieters. Their problem is restriction. Yeah. It's not about restriction. Any plan that restricts anything bar a certain amount of calories is going to fail. Yeah. Simple as that. Yeah. Anything that a certain amount of calories, people either mistake, I have to get rid of bread. Yeah. I have to get rid of carbs. I have to get rid of fat. I have to get rid of red peppers. Yeah, yeah. I've just pulled that out of my arse, by the way. I have to get rid of, I'm going to drop down to 1,600 calories a day and only drink shakes. Yeah. That works for about a month. Yeah. And then you end up fatter. Yeah. So for me, it's got to be sustainable or there's no point in even starting. Yeah. If you start a plan where you're like, you know what, I don't think I'm going to be able to stick to this for very long, but I'm committed to doing it for a week. Yeah. You fail. In fact, I'm going to expand on this. Any plan that relies on willpower will fail. Yeah. Because willpower is fickle. Very fickle. It's there in the morning, it disappears on a night. No one ever messes breakfast up, right? Yeah. No one ever messes breakfast up.
I agree with that.
Yeah, if it relies on willpower, it's going to fail. So the less your plan, the less your nutrition plan, your training plan, even your mindset plan, the less it relies on willpower, the better. And this is why we're a big part of that. Structure is a big part of that.
That's why we're really keen, Paul, to not make this thing come across as a diet. It's not a diet plan. What we're trying to do here is give people access to good nutritious food at a time when it's difficult to get it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's structured nutrition. Yeah. Structured nutrition.
Amazing. Listen, mate, I really appreciate that. I hope this comes across and gives people a little bit more of an insight. And it's not this is genuinely to help because, like I said, our values is about helping people. And right now, there's a lot of information out there. What do you trust? What do you not? And it's coming at us thick and fast. So I just hope this hits the spot with people and gives them exactly what they need.
Anybody that's not sure about this, just go on the Caboose Facebook page and you'll see how legit these guys are. I wouldn't be doing this video unless you guys are legit. I don't just jump on videos and that with anybody.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Amazing.
Really appreciate it. Listen, Paul, thanks very much, mate. And yeah, I hope it comes across well to everybody. I hope you get.
You guys that are listening in, remember this: there is nothing more important than how you feel, and there's nothing more important than feeling great.
we'll end it there. Cheers, mate.